Thank you, Speaker Mark Viverito. I would now like to introduce David Skorton, Cornell University's president, if only for 2 more weeks. After 9 extraordinary years at Cornell's helm, President Skorton is on his way to serve the country in his new role as Secretary of the Smithsonian Institution. We owe him our deepest gratitude for many achievements as one of Cornell's great presidents, not least of which was leading the team that won the competition to create Cornell Tech here on Roosevelt Island. I'm grateful that President Skorton is still in office today to celebrate this groundbreaking, because it was his leadership, vision, and conviction that this was the right thing to do for Cornell that brought us here in the first place. It is now my privilege to introduce the 12th president of Cornell University, David J. Skorton.
Thanks, boss. Even 2 more weeks. I like calling you boss. I want to thank everyone for coming today. It's a fantastic turnout, and it's inspiring to me. A few years after the Bloomberg administration came up with this concept, it's inspiring to me to see so many leaders from the tech and other sectors, academic, corporate, and community partners celebrating this day. I would especially like to thank Mayor de Blasio for joining us and for your outspoken advocacy for education at all levels, from universal pre-K to tech career training. He and Deputy Mayor Alicia Glenn have been outstanding partners for Cornell Tech, championing this project and working to democratize the benefits to impact New Yorkers across the full breadth of our city. The Mayor's Tech Talent Pipeline builds on what we're doing at Cornell Tech, striving to help all New Yorkers be connected, personally connected to, and to benefit from this growing sector of the economy. Thank you, Mayor. Thanks also to Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul and Mayor Bloomberg for joining us today, as well as the Speaker of the New York City Council, Melissa Mark Viverito, and also Governor Cuomo, who has not here today, but I want to gratefully acknowledge his support for years for this and many other economic development coups across the state of New York. I want to recognize, if you'll indulge me for a moment, a few additional members of the Cornell and our extended team, in addition to Bob Harrison and to Dean Huttenlocker, from whom we've already heard. Kathy Dove, former Vice President of Cornell Tech and now President of Paul Smith's College, was an important member of this dream team that put this application together. Lance Collins, Dean of the Cornell College of Engineering, and Kent Fox, who's now the President of the University of Florida. Although he's not here today as Cornell's Provost, he played the major role in the conception and success of this project. I want to join Dan Huttenlocker in thanking our colleagues from Google, who, as Dan said, very generously opened their doors for us for a temporary campus in a big way, making rapid progress possible and actually guaranteeing it. I also want to thank my partner and friend and my mentor, Technion President Peretz Levi, who's in Israel. We spoke late last evening. He and his team are creating something completely new with us in the Jacobs Institute at Cornell Tech. And I want to recognize Adam Schwartz, the director of that institute. I also want to acknowledge someone you're going to get to know as members of the New York City community and get to admire, and that is Cornell's President-elect Elizabeth Garrett, who could not be here today, but shares our commitment and your commitment to this project. And starting in just 14 days, she's going to lead Cornell and this campus to even greater tomorrows. Together, we have set out to reinvent graduate education for the digital age. Faculty and researchers collaborate with colleagues in companies, government agencies, and nonprofit organizations to solve real-life problems. Engineering students work and learn side by side with business students and designers, creating startup companies and even new products. At the Jacobs Institute, our collaboration with the Technion, there's a novel program where recent PhD graduates turn research ideas into product-ready prototypes, work with in-residence technologists and designers and entrepreneurs, as well as with the broad tech community in New York City. We're creating, with your help and support, a larger and growing pipeline of tech talent here in New York City to help ensure that this city remains the world's capital for ideas. Of course, none of this would be possible without the extraordinary leadership of a small handful of visionaries, many of whom are here today. First of all, I want to credit, and I can't say this enough or strongly enough, Michael Bloomberg and his team, who put forward the original idea, setting all of this in motion. I want to recognize someone who gave me a lot of guidance along the way and still does to this day, Bob Steele, who at the time was Deputy Mayor for Economic Development. Bob, thank you for everything that you've done. And although he's not here today, I hope someone will share, and I will share by email, my thank you in recognition of Seth Pinsky, who at the time was president. Let me restate that. You see, Seth, I asked Steele if you were here, and he said, why would we invite Pinsky? That's actually what he said. Anyway, Seth, congratulations for all the things you've done since and for what you did then as president of the New York City Economic Development Corp. I want to thank and recognize Chuck Feeney and Atlantic Philanthropies and their CEO, Chris Exley. Who set us down the path with this $350 million gift that allowed us to get this work started in a big way. The approach of Atlantic Philanthropies and Mr. Feeney has changed the world again and again. And we are grateful, and I am grateful, that they share our belief in Cornell Tech and in all of Cornell. In absentia, I want to recognize and thank two other Cornell alumni, Joan and Erwin Jacobs, who saw the possibilities in the partnership between Cornell and the Technion and their $133 million gift launched to endow the Jacobs Institute. And, as we all know now, as of last night's unbelievable announcement, we now have even another reason to thank Michael Bloomberg. His profound love for this city and his determination to continue enhancing the strengths of which we are so proud, as he did so ably as mayor, have led him to make, it's an overused word, but a transformative gift to the construction of the Cornell Tech campus. As you know, in recognition of Bloomberg Philanthropies' gift of $100 million, the first academic building will be named the Bloomberg Center in honor of the mayor's daughters, Emma and Georgina. The legacy that you began with a competition and augmented with this tremendous gift, Mr. Mayor, will continue to benefit New York City and its people far into the future. I thank you, and we thank you for empowering vision and for incredible generosity. We have many other partners and many other people who believe in this project, and with a total so far of $685 million raised philanthropically, plus the land, plus $100 million in city funds, Cornell Tech is, as you can see, off to a wonderfully strong start. Today, I ask you to think for just a moment with me to imagine not just the buildings that will be built here with our development partners, but a new type of place that doesn't exist yet. Cornell Tech will be an open and collaborative place within each building and across buildings. The campus is not just a supporting player in the university's mission, but the campus itself is an example of the blend of creativity and technology that Dean Huttenlocher and his team seek to nurture. It serves as a physical model, keeping our aspirations in front of us and on track. The campus is being built to encourage people to connect with each other, because that is how discovery happens. We aim not just to produce the next generation of technologists, but to inspire people who will have the skills and the confidence to move beyond the everyday familiar. The City of New York gave us an incredible and rare opportunity to build a campus from scratch. And designing this campus is an opportunity for everyone involved. It's a chance to build a new type of place that provides space to think, but one that is also intimately integrated in both mission and design, integrated with the city itself, just like our academic programs are. And that's not just reflected in the buildings, but in the surrounding open spaces, which are critical to this effort. The campus, I hope you have a chance to look at some of the placards, is laid out as a series of seemingly spontaneous outdoor rooms that create a necklace of green space. The Tech Walk will guide how people move across this landscape, which will blend seamlessly with the 4 buildings in Phase 1. Cornell Tech will also be, as you've heard, on the cutting edge of sustainability. The sustainable design and engineering on this campus really push the edges of current practice. The first academic building, which I'm proud to now call the Bloomberg Center, when we are successful, and Mayor de Blasio told me to change if to when, will be among the largest net zero buildings in the world, generating all of its own energy on site. Designed by the acclaimed Morphosis architects, the building will be topped by this swooping lily pad-shaped roof that will harness solar power. The first residential building, as you've heard, providing a home for students and faculty and staff, will be the first residential high-rise in the world built to what you've heard as passive house standards, which is one of the most cutting-edge and efficient ways to build. And Cornell Tech overall will be a focal point and a gathering place, a convening place for the tech community throughout New York. We are breaking down silos, welcoming private companies into the center of the campus, not as an afterthought. Creativity thrives when people with different expertise and perspectives come together, whether it's in a conference room or at the water cooler. They still are water coolers, right, boss? Our corporate co-location buildings will put academia and industry together under one single roof, starting with the first co-location building, the Bridge. And I want to thank our partners at Forest City Radnor for the tremendous partnership and innovation that's making that possible. Thank you. I expect these buildings, not hope, but expect these buildings to become the most in-demand addresses for companies, big and small, who want to innovate and be near other innovators. Here, we'll see academic researchers working side by side with young startups and established veteran entrepreneurs. The design of the space will foster the relationship building that is needed to build innovation to market. The Verizon Executive Education Center, thanks to yet another generous gift, a $50 million gift from Verizon, will be a place for the entire tech community to gather, a converging place to leverage the impact that this campus has on technology beyond our degree programs. And I want to recognize Lowell McAdams, CEO of Verizon, for this amazing. And all of this that we're talking about, all of these dreams that are coming true right before your eyes, are happening right in the center of New York City. Roosevelt Island, as you know, runs between the global crossroads that is Manhattan and the growing tech hubs in Brooklyn and Queens. With views of the UN and proximity to the beautiful and inspiring Four Freedoms Park, our host today, our students will constantly be reminded of the importance of social change, of utilizing education to solve problems and utilizing their privilege to make lives better. We've put together the best talent to make this real, world-class architects and planners, developers, builders, and union partners, and they are all listed in your program. Each of these really phenomenal organizations is committed to doing something special for our New York. It is now my pleasure to introduce our former mayor, a path-breaking philanthropist, and the innovative leader whose ambitious vision started so many things, including Cornell Tech, Mayor Bloomberg.